Okay, well, I'm back. I spent the last couple hours cleaning bits and pieces and parts. Here's the primary outer, looking good. And over here, we have the primary inner, looking good and empty. And here I have all the stuff that came out of the primary, all cleaned up, shiny, bright, degreased, and ready to go back into the primary. Once I decide, well, first, once I order one of these, try to figure out why on earth they had this nut in there as a spacer, and try to figure out what on earth they did this for. It's not going back that way. There's no sense for it. It doesn't do anything. Anyway, this is the splined fitting that this goes into, and then the other end goes into the transmission. And I don't know. It, it does, you don't need it to keep it from sliding in, I think. Let me see. You slide this in. Will it keep going? No, it stops on the splines. I don't know. I do not know, Sam. I am. So anyway, I got to go order one of these, and then I've got to go in there and look into the parts book and find out this oil seal here. I'm hoping it gets replaced from this side, and if there's an oil seal here, I'm hoping it gets. I don't know what I'm hoping. If there's an oil seal here, you can guarantee it comes in from the back. So this is a rubber grommet for the wires. That nice opportunity for a leak. This is a blind hole, so it's not a leak. So we have one, two, three opportunities for oil to come out of the back of this case. So I'm going to go do a little bit of research in the parts books and find out what gives. So that's where we are. Um, Progress. I wish that test ride had shown this all this stuff to be perfect, but it wasn't. So I get to fix what's not and test ride it again sometime. All right, test ride, first ride, cold start. Uh, this ought to be an adventure. Let's see how it goes. down. I don't know if you can tell, probably not, but that was a very short test ride. I went up around the block, came back. It was not unsuccessful. It, on the other hand, was not successful. The clutch, I noticed, is very, very tight, very, very tight. And I don't notice, but when I pulled away at the end of the driveway, it was a very, very fast engagement. There's no gap here. And when I got down about halfway down the block, it flat wouldn't shift out of first into second until I tried about 6 or 8 or 10 times. And then it finally made second. I finally got the end of the block and said, time to turn around. So I went around the block and came back. The bike is not shifting. It's not the transmission's problem. I know that. I think I know that. But the clutch isn't right. It's a very, very tough clutch. And it's very hard to find neutral. Matter of fact, I cannot find neutral. So I'm going to put it back on the lift and open up the primary, take the clutch apart, and see what I can see. In the meantime, right now, I can't find the side stand, so I'll have Richard cut the video off and then come on over and help me. Actually, yeah, I'll just put it on the. I'll have Richard take my helmet and put it on the lift, and that's the way it is. So, not unsuccessful, but not completely successful either. All right? I thank you, and that's the way it is. Okay, I adjusted the clutch and release rod clearance. It's way too tight. I can shift it with it running through in here. I'll show you how. All 4 gears up and down. Finding neutral. Now the question is, should I take the primary apart anyway? And the answer is, I haven't made that decision. But anyway, watch all 4 gears. Let's see if I can put this where you can see not the neutral light. Anyway, I'll put some gas in it and I'll restart it and show you that I can get all 4 gears right here with no real effort, other than the fact that the clutch is a very hard pull. It is a very hard pull. And I'm not sure it should be that hard a pull. Can't compare it to mine because I've got a hydraulic clutch in mine. I'm going to open the primary. Never mind. Anyway, I could shift all 4 gears up and down and find neutral, but I still don't like the feel of that clutch. So I'm going to open the primary, let you know what's going on. We'll see. Okay, so plan B, I'm going to open the primary for 2 reasons. First of all, I want to find out why is this clutch such a hard pull. And second is that oil right there, which I have traced to up where the tranny main shaft comes over into the back of the primary. Now this is a 75, and it has hydraulic primary chain adjusters in it. So I don't know, I truly don't remember, I don't know if it still has that sliding plate oil seal around the tranny main shaft inside the primary or not, or whether they put in a nice seal on that shaft. So I think that's primary oil. And I'm going to take the whole primary drive out of this thing and take a look behind the clutch and find out if there's a seal and see what I can do about it. So here we go. I might just go have a breakfast sandwich and a cup of coffee, then come back and do this. I'll start it and I will video the process. Well, this isn't going to be exciting, so frankly I'll just let the camera run and probably end up speeding it up, because there's not a whole lot to be learned by taking a primary cover off and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. Hello there. I could ride it again, but I'm not going to.
You find anything conclusive?
Okay, so let's break this thing free.
Make sure you put your finger there.
By the way, this hammer here, see if I can show this to you. This hammer belonged to my great-grandfather. Yeah, interesting. That's something. That's an old hammer. My grandfather replaced the handle, and my dad replaced the head. But other than that, it's my old hammer from my great-grandfather. What say, Richard?
Your blood pressure's up.
Your blood pressure's up. Why are you over here with this frustration? I don't remember if I have to take this
I
apart.
don't want to see the parts fall out.
I'm not sure I have to take that off. I get confused between Triumph and Norton.
They're British, man. How different can they be?
Oh, very. There we go. Okay.
It's perfect for me. Put the side back on.
Well, I must have had this off because it's put together with anaerobic grease, and notice how the gasket is not ripped up. That's a good thing about anaerobic. That's just weird looking, the way that's depressed.
Maybe that's got to collapse the diaphragm.
That's interesting. Somebody's put a clamp on it. In there. That should just pull out. And look at it rattling around. That's a good place to leak. My goodness. No kidding. There's a clamp on here. All right. Well, I think I'll put the microphone on. I'm going to put the microphone on for better audio. Okay, so now I've got the microphone on. You may be able to hear me a little better. Interestingly, I think I've been in here because it has anaerobic gasket sealer on here. But on the other hand, the oil is pretty dirty for something that's just been sitting here doing nothing. You can see the accumulation down here. And if the bike has never been run since I put that on, where'd all this come from? So I'm up in the air. I don't know if I've had this apart or not. Isn't it interesting how I work on so many bikes that I can't remember from one bike to the next what I've done? And interestingly, I used to take a lot of photographs and send those to clients before I started doing videos. But once I started doing videos, I stopped taking photographs. So I'd have to go back and review these things and see if I did anything in here. So let's take this. Let's take the clutch apart and see what we see. That'll be the first step.
It doesn't look like your work over, Frank. You want to put coarse thread back in?
No, I wouldn't put coarse thread in there. So now I have to decide, with half of these screws in this case, coarse thread versus the original fine, what to do about the case bolts. I could drill them and put a spiral jobby-do in there. This thing has to come out. Somebody's put a hose clamp on here. Let's see if I can get in there and get that off. You off?
Yes, we're going to go work on the air conditioner with an RV.
All right. Talk at you later.
See you later.
Okay. Rule 1. Disconnect. Take the spark. Take the fuse out of the bike. Rule 2, no painted parts on the workbench. Come on. I love these fuses, but they are tight. All right. Mm-hmm. How on earth did they do this? From the bottom? Maybe they did it from the bottom instead of from the top. Oh my. It's not a clamp. Somebody has drilled it and put a bolt in it. That's just outrageous. Why'd they do that? Huh. Okay, it looks like it's metric. I'll try a 7/16, but it looks like it's metric. All right. I don't want to mess it up. Just make life harder. Try 10. I don't think it's a 10. Okay, I don't think it's a 10. Back to 7/16. Okay. All right, seriously. Why would somebody drill through here and put a bolt in it? What was the reason? I don't think that's original. I definitely don't. What on earth? There's nothing for it to bump up against. I mean, it wasn't to keep this thing from sliding out or going in. I'm gonna have to think on that one for a long time. It just don't make no sense. Hmm. All right. Just something else to think about. But I do want to find out if there's supposed to be a seal on that shaft because it sure was loose. Hmm. All right, let's take this apart. Okay, the adjusters seem to be working okay. Another opportunity for leaking is right here. So, hmm. Now, it's perfectly okay to pull this alternator off of here and just fold it up out of the way. But that leaves the cable hanging here in the way of everything. You have to work your way around it. And quite frankly, I stock bullets, so I don't have to do that. So I'm perfectly happy to cut the bullets off and pull the wire out. They put in a much nicer alternator mount on these 75s. Much nicer. Really, really nice. Yes, sir, Bob. It's really nice. Works really, really well. Yes, sir, Bob. This alternator's never just gonna fall out of there. No, sir. Yes, sir, Bob. Beginning to think I won't need to put the nuts back on these screws. All I have to do is put this in here because it sure ain't gonna fall out. That's humor, by the way. 1/16 at a time. And there's no such thing as a 5-minute job. And by the way, I do have a puller that'll fit this. And right about now, I'm saying to myself, gee, Frank, if you just used your big puller, this thing would be off. And then I say to myself, well, it's almost off. No sense in getting the puller out now. Oof. What a pain. Interesting. I'm not sure that that cable should come out the back. Usually they come out the front. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Tight, very tight. This one seems to be the culprit right here. There we go. Oh my. Doggone it. I didn't want to take that off until after I had that up, but it's up against it. That's interesting. Did they do that on purpose? Huh. Bet they did. I didn't want to take it off because I have to lock this chain and I'm afraid of messing up the anti-kickback device. But looks like I have to do this. Let's see if we're lucky and see if it breaks free. Oh, Frank, you are so funny. I'll be darned. Okay. Hmm. Okay. All right. More and more coming to the fore. Lots of neat pieces. This is the anti-kickback. I know there's a nut. There's a name for it, of which I can't think. They get broken. All right. I don't think I've had this apart. There's too much sludge in here. If I had it apart, I wouldn't have run it until now. So I'm pretty sure I haven't. Question: why would they put 2 1/2-inch and one 7/16 wrench socket bolt nut instead of 3 of the same size? Answer: I don't know. Question: why is there a nut behind here being used as a spacer? Answer: I don't know. My goodness. The stuff you find when you take these things apart. So, I don't mind if they want to put a smaller nut on this particular shaft. I do mind that this spacer is here. Why on earth is this spacer here? What was it doing for a living? Look at that nasty nut. It was behind that plate doing something. I don't know what. It was behind that plate. These hydraulics, I think this assembly comes off. It's been a long time since I've been inside a 75 primary. But they sure appear like they've come off. They come off. My goodness. Nothing's ever easy. Just for grins, I'm going to try a little prying on it. Gently, gently, gently. Ever so gently. Let's see if this will pop out and get out of our way. And there you go. Spring loaded. Hydraulically operated. Maybe. Maybe just spring loaded. Yeah. Let's take the clutch out. And once this thing moves like this, and it's safe to take the retaining spring out. If you don't have this tool, don't take this spring out because it'll pop out and hurt you badly. those last two plates won't come out. So we go over here and we get our tiny little hooks. Okay. I'm not sure this last one comes out. It's different from what I'm used to. I'm not used to seeing them pinned 1, 2, 3 pins. This might be part of the basket, but I just don't know. Hello. Okay, let's just leave that. Now, and getting out my great grandfather's hammer. Let's see if it'll break free. It did. How about them apples? Okay, now I'm going to have to use a puller on this. Looks like it. Ooh, 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 look at that. That's bad. This is one of the teeth out of this anti-kickback. They're not supposed to fall out. This 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 guy is supposed to rotate in one direction only and coast in the other direction. This is a tooth out of it. It fell out when I pulled it out. That's not a good thing, and they're not supposed to fall out. It goes right there, one way or another. So, bottom line is I'll buy a new one of these. I could probably put it back in here, but I wouldn't trust it. So, all right, we get one of these new anti-kickback thingamajobs that I know the name of but can't think of. Whoops, it's broken right here. See, it's not supposed to be broken there. That's bad. Okay, so it's bad twice. This whole little section here is broken. So, okay, so we put a new one of these in. This is loose. And this guy is going to take a puller, of which I happen to have one. This bag constitutes a gear puller. This is the puller part. And these are all the different bolt combinations that get used on different gears that have threaded holes. There's a bunch of them. Each of these has a purpose, depending on what bike you're working on and what gear you're pulling. So, on this particular gear, looking at it, it looks like it's about, I don't know why, but I just feel like this one. And I was right. Okay, so turning back to the gear. Let's pull this gear off. Try to get myself out of the view by moving the camera over here. These spacers are on here for a reason. I don't know what it is, but they're on there for a reason. So let's try taking them off. All right, that looks like that might be a good combination. No spacer for washers. All I have to do is find the other hole. Okay. Yeah, it's not the right size, but let's see if it's good. Now, sometimes a little shock value helps. It's under tension. Not that time. Nothing holding it on. Let's try shocking it with this. This won't undo it, but maybe it'll break it free by shocking it. Or just using up my battery. Okay. I hate forcing things like this. I do. And I don't like putting plastic things in here to jam them. It puts all the strain, well, the strain's on there anyway. But if I can put something from here to here that'll lock it, I'll do it that way. Let's turn it the right way. Let's go this way. Wait a minute. I'm trying to turn this way to pull that out, which means I have to block it up here. I may be unscrewing it, but I'm supposed to do it by tightening the puller. And it's going to pop. Oh, this is some kind of tight. Oh, don't you love it when that happens? It scares the heck out of you every time. And I've done it dozens of times. Okay. Now I just have to find my little socket that went for a flight. Well, this thing does have an oil seal in it. That's good. There is a ball bearing here. If it has a seal, it's on the other side. Which means the primary has to come off. Because there's a lot of oil back there. It's coming from someplace. Either here or here. Or the tranny itself. But I don't feel the oil on the tranny. When I put my hand up here and feel the underside of the tranny, it comes away dry. So I don't think it's the tranny main shaft seal. I think it's the rubber seal here. Okay. This has been a really long segment. So I'm going to stop it for a minute while I do some cleanup and some organizing. And there's all the stuff. So the joy and the fun just never stops.